Um, my name is Margaret Ann Windsor. Um, I've made several of these tapes, and I tell my name because if you just tuned into this video, you wouldn't understand. I was kidnapped in 1941 from Buckingham Palace. I was born in 1939, and my father is King Edward VIII, who was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor, sister to American, and my mother was an American, Irish Catholic, commoner, Georgia O'Keefe, the artist. That being said, I was born in 39, and my father was illegally taken down by the what is called the New World Order, the Freemasons, the Illuminati, Trilateralists, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, Elizabeth, the false queen, because she's not legal. Her father, George the Sixth, who's illegal and helped take down his brother with lies, helped the New World Order. By the way, I think I said that Elizabeth and Charles are members and I guess officials high up in the New World Order. Nothing like selling out your brother and your country and kidnap your brother's daughter, your niece, George the Sixth, so you can have a title forever. That's what Roosevelt promised him for his participation. He'd be king forever. Now then, the media has focused on North Korean leader because his uncle was executed. And they made the comment, it's not safe to be an uncle in North Korea. Well, I got news for you. It's not safe to be the real queen and be kidnapped and brought to America and tortured every moment of my life. My children, the heirs after me, I don't know where they are. They were certainly tortured prior to the last time I saw them. My father and mother were certainly tortured. His identity was stolen, and I'm going to show this, and then this is the man who married Wallace Simpson. He's a double, an imposter. Now I'm going to show my father, the real King Edward VIII, and I'm going to show my Uncle George in 1939, the year I was born, with Roosevelt, who appointed, he was president, he appointed Joe Kennedy as ambassador to England in 1936 till he was kicked out in 46. So this is a picture of my father and then his brother George, who became the illegal George the Sixth. This is endorsement in Hustler magazine that came out April of '84. I'd run in a campaign to replace Dr. Congressman Larry McDonald in when his plane went down. It was shot down. The Korean jet went down with all the passengers aboard en route from to Seoul, South Korea, from Juneau, Alaska. Larry Flynn, I had written about mind control. I'd worked for doctors back in '77, '78, when no one was telling about it. About doing heart bypasses and putting chips in root canals and heart bypasses. In other words, what's known now, whether people want to believe it, all you have to do is Google or go to YouTube or if you want to watch YouTubes of real professionals telling about it, just put in mind control and you'll get plenty of information on it. I didn't have this back then. None of this, to my knowledge, was being told. This is '77, '78. Larry Flint was really under strange circumstances. They finally got a subpoena I don't know what charges. It was weird, but they got him to Lawrenceville, Georgia. And I never thought much about pornography. I was certainly didn't like it and not for it. But then I'm not for murdering and torturing and kidnapping a monarch, me, taking down my country. And here in this country, because you can get away with it, doctors, lawyers, judges, just average citizens will commit a crime. It's unbelievable. You'd have to follow me and to see, and then it's such an ugly crime. As it goes on, it just gets bigger and bigger, and they want it shut up. But Larry Flint, the man that shot him in Lawrenceville during that trial and shot and killed his attorney there, was programmed to shoot Larry Flint and his attorney. Now, they didn't mention this in the movie of the United States versus Larry Flint either, or Jerry Falwell, next door here in Lynchburg, the Liberty University, right? Uh, there was a parody that Larry Flint showed me when I was out at his home during that campaign in '83. He helped support me, and he actually showed me the galley proofs of the parody to Jerry Falwell, which at the moment didn't mean that much. It just kind of surprised me. I'm not a Jerry Falwell fan. I never was, never will be. But anyway, they went after Larry Flint a long time ago. So the programming was there too, and I was flown out to Flint's. So I'm going to show that. And by the way, I'm going to show and read what he said, because the Murphy, if they ever tell this, means a lot in all of it. Now, whether they tell it, I say, because I'm doing this myself from memory, I don't know. If it's not told soon because of a gag order that was put on one of the murders, I don't know. It would have to be the FBI or the British that tell it. The papers aren't going to tell it. The New World Order and the United States are not going to tell it unless it gets so big that it embarrasses them, that someone has told it enough that it's an embarrassment to them. But anyway, this was Flint's endorsement. I'm going to read this because it has, I was told at Warrant House in 1980 after they'd put antifreeze in me on April Fool Day of '80, after I'd done the book, got a letter from the U.S. Attorney, the FBI, June the 23rd of '79, about an ongoing investigation, national security involved. So then I get antifreeze put in me and should have died. And the fiasco that followed it, a fiasco, it was sheer living hell. I ended up across state line in Huntsville illegally, but I finally was able to. I had brain damage. My God, it was a living hell. And that's what they told me before it happened, and I didn't know what they meant. I thought my life's been a living hell, but, you know, they can always make it a bit worse. But anyway, while I was at Warren House and working for Fred Simpson, by the way, Simpson as in Wallace Simpson, was supposed to marry my father, King Edward VIII, which was a total lie. He was married. She married an imposter. I lived at Warren House, which is Warren is a clue to the Warren Commission cover-up, which, if they told the truth, would lead back to my kidnapping. Now then, in holding the British hostage. Now then, Murphy, I was given the word, or told the word Murphy there at Warren House in '80, and I was told Murphy's Law, if anything bad can happen, it will. Long before then, I had told people about mind control murders, early 70s, early. And Audie Murphy was part of that, and I ended up here on the Appalachian Trail living in '86 and lived on and off the trail and in the forest. Even though they run me, and I'd come down and they'd gas me and run me. And yes, this is true, right here in front of everybody, plain sight. But I'm going to read what Mr. Flint said. He said,